Keith Smith says most immigration workers left after the law took effect, so this potato farmer hired Americans. Problem is, he says, most show up late, work slower, and are ready to head home after lunch. Some even quit after just one day out in the field.
There's a Hispanic man that works for us, and I say, he's 52, and he'll make anywhere from $70 to $100 a day. I said, if you can keep up with him and do a good job, you can make that. But they're not physically in shape to do it, and, probably not mentally tough enough to do it, some of them.
While the No Kings protest was happening here in Nebraska this weekend, there was another small protest that not many people took a note of. In Sterling, Nebraska, a few dozen farmers were protesting to state legislatures, interestingly, about property evaluations. Indeed, just like we've heard around the country and as well as the big cities like Omaha and Lincoln, property valuations around the state are going up immensely. In this case, property valuations went up as much as 25 or even 30%. The evaluator mentioned that this was simply protocol. After all, a lot of the land in the area had been selling at those higher evaluations recently. But for the farmers in the area, those sales haven't benefited them materially in any way. It hasn't put any more money in their pockets. This definitely hurts them hard when it comes to property taxes in the future. For Pillen, this problem is a home run because property taxes is one of his primary policies he wants to get changed. But to me, this is another signal that property and housing as a commodity, as an investment, is a fundamental problem in our society. For many, your house is something to be bought and sold for its price to increase over time. It is something for retirement, so that when you retire, you have money to go live in a retirement home and to spend on whatever you want. But is this method of retirement really worth it when people who are just trying to live are being put at risk because of this system? The heroes of our society here in Nebraska are being put under threat because someone decided in the past this is how it should be, but it doesn't need to be this way. We need to be looking at decommodifying housing now.
I'm seeing a lot of hate towards these Nebraskan farmers, and I would love to hate on them. But we have to root for them, because if these small farms go out of business, who's going to buy up these small farms? It's going to be the corporations. And we're going to be even more fucked than we are now. They're just going to be able to rule everything, price gouge us on everything. So, as much as I don't want to be supportive, we kind of have to support them and do anything we can to help them out, even though they voted for the wrong person.
So by now we've all heard that Nebraska is going to go bankrupt in about 2 months, 60 days, give or take. And Nebraska was a state that voted overwhelmingly for that guy. And now they're all crying and screaming because their workforce is gone. All the immigrants that were there doing whatever they did for them, gone. All these people jumping on TikTok, all over social media, complaining about how they're about to lose their farms because they don't have anybody to work the farms. My thing is, like, when the man told you he was going to deport the immigrants and y'all still voted for him, did you think he was joking? Because his hatred for immigrants and people of color and anybody who's not a wealthy white man was the first clue that the rest of us got that he was going to do what the hell he said he was going to do. Let's be real about it. He tried it and got blocked in 2016 because at that time there were people in places in the administration that prevented him from doing that. Well, now he done got rid of all those people who would have stopped him from doing this craziness. So all that's left are the people like them, like y'all, who voted for this, who agree with the shit. I'm having a hard time understanding why we should care. Why those of us who didn't fuck around but are also finding out, why are we supposed to care? Why are we supposed to be like, oh, you are sorry and you regret your vote because you're about to lose your family farm and God knows what else? We all got drama that we got to deal with and live through. There are a lot of people worried every day about losing their jobs. People who have jobs that are 100% federally funded, who are worried every day that they get up if that's going to be the day that they go to work and they tell them, oh, we're done. You don't need to come back. So why should we care about you when we all got to be out here worried about our own self? So all I'm saying is the fuck around and find out is real for all of us. But for those of y'all that voted for this shit, y'all need to eat it. I wanted to say something else, but I don't know if children might see this video. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't think we give a shit. You know, concepts of thoughts, because y'all damn sure don't deserve our prayers. Good night.
So as a Nebraskan, the farmers predominantly voted for the current president. They also voted for Pete Ricketts and Deb Fischer, who aren't doing anything for them. And China announced that they're not going to buy corn and soybeans today, or I think they've done it over the last couple days. I think it was last week, because of the trade war their current president that they voted for decided to wage, a trade war with China. They're not going to buy your goods. And I know that a lot of you have said that you want aid. Well, as a taxpayer who lives in Nebraska who did vote for the right candidate, I don't think I want my tax dollars going to bail you out. I think you actually should sit in your decisions and feel the effects. You want us to. Every time we vote for a Democrat and you say they're horrible. So at this point in time, I'm going to tell you the same thing you say to me back. You wanted to vote for this. Now you get to deal with the consequences. And I don't think I should have to bail you out, because I work hard for my money too, and my dollars shouldn't bail out your bad decisions. So yeah, today I'm telling you, the farmers here in Nebraska, you need to deal with your own decisions. It's your consequences, not mine, and I don't want to pay for them.
You know, it really didn't have to be this way. Nebraska farmers are going bankrupt left and right, all because of the very decision them themselves are made. But let's put the FAFO moment aside for a moment and think deeper. Have you really thought about what's going to start happening when these farmers officially shut down, when the small family-owned farmers disappear for good? You guessed it right. Big corporations will swoop right in and buy up that land, and you know exactly what that means. Less independence, more corporate control, the very thing these farmers used to claim they were against. And here's the thing, we can't ignore the truth. Nebraska voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. They made that choice loud and clear, and yes, they were warned. Trump told them straight up that he was going to deport immigrants, yet they still went ahead and gave him their votes. And now they're out here screaming and crying about losing their farms because there's no one left to work the land. I mean, should we even care about this situation they helped create? I don't know. You tell me. Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below, because this is something people seriously need to start talking about. But anyway, the video still continues.
But why would you do that? That would have taken effort on your part. Now you're posting your videos on TikTok about the consequences of your action, losing your family's 300-year-old farm, asking us why we're not more upset on your behalf. Why should we be? You voted to screw us all over, and now that you ended up screwing yourself, you expect us to show up for you. Bitch, please, no. We understand this is gonna fuck up our food supply chain. We've accepted that. You don't seem to have accepted shit yet, but maybe when that corporate farm comes in and buys your defaulted farm at a low price, they'll let you work there? For minimum wage, of course. I guess that's how the farms are gonna get white workers. They're just gonna take your farm and turn your white ass into a worker on the farm. So I guess your prophecy does come true, just not in the way you thought it would. I would say maybe you'll learn something from this, but you clearly haven't. Based on the videos you're posting, you guys clearly haven't. I mean, maybe you can do what historically other people have done. They've left the farms and they've come to the big cities and they've gotten jobs in factories. Oops. Yeah, good luck out there. Tell those liberals and Democrats in town, the ones you talk about, tell them we've got their backs. Yours? No. Now, are we going to feel guilty about our decision later on? No, because had it worked out in your favor, you'd currently be hop, skipping, dipping, and square dancing, screaming all over TikTok, we were right, we're so rich, we're so special, we're mega, your shit. We know that. We're not going to forget that. It doesn't matter how many TikToks you post about how much you're going to lose. We're going to lose just as much as you, plus our ability to care for about half the population of this country. We're processing that. We don't have time for whatever you're trying to do. But concepts of thoughts and prayers, and as much sympathy as you showed everybody else in your community when you went out to vote.
American farmers aren't quitting. They're dying. We lose more than 300 farmers to suicide every single year in the United States. That's more than double the national average. Not because they fail, but because the system is designed to crush them. Percy Schmeiser didn't buy Monsanto seeds. Wind blew GMO pollen onto his land. They sued him anyway. That's how broken this is. You don't even own the food you grow if it's patented. USDA agents raided an Amish farm at gunpoint. Why? Raw milk. The public seed library in Missouri was shut down. Why? No barcodes. You think you're free to farm? Try selling beef without USDA approval. Try saving your seeds. Try skipping vaccines for your livestock. Try doing it your way and watch what happens. This isn't about food safety. It's about control. Control the seeds, control the food, control the food, control the people. And that's exactly what they're doing.
So no, we don't give a fuck about Nebraska going bankrupt in 6 months. Trump told you he's gonna do before you voted for him. And y'all voted for him. All y'all farmers in Nebraska voted for him because y'all admitted that y'all voted for him. So now in 6 months, all of y'all will be bankrupt. Go bankrupt. Maybe the rest of the red states will actually see what type of person he is, because he didn't give a fuck about you before. He damn sure don't give a fuck about you now. And that's y'all mistake. Learn from it.
So, apparently, Nebraska is going out of business soon, within the next 1 to 2 quarters. Why? Well, farmers to be exact, or farms. They can't seem to find anyone to work their fields. Nebraska, I wonder why that is. Could it be the race literally told you he was going to deport about 80% of your workforce, but you voted for him anyway because you wanted your bragging rights? That's right, you wanted to own those libs. Well, congratulations, Nebraska. You won your bragging rights, but now you lost your livelihood, and I have 0 fucks to give to you.
So, y'all be seeing the people on TikTok recently. It's like, what about the people in Nebraska? Where are y'all? Like, do y'all not care about what's happening to us and our families and our 300-year-old farms? I mean, we see it or whatever, you know, but we seen this too. We seen this too. We seen this too. Y'all remember when that white dude was getting arrested in, I think it was Atlanta airport, and he was like, "You're treating me like a black person." Y'all remember that? I think that is what is happening in these United States of America. I think that everybody is starting to find out that racism is expensive. You should vote your pay grade, and that everybody is niggas.
I did my part. I did my part when it came to making sure that none of this stuff happened. I did not want massive amounts of illegal immigrants or legal immigrants or anybody to be deported just because, you know, they didn't have the right skin tone. And now Nebraska is crying and crying and crying. They have not voted Democrat in decades. They are mostly Republican in that state. My heart goes out to the people that voted for Kamala because they are suffering for no fault of their own. The farmers, majority voted for Trump. One of the things he said every single day was he was going to deport migrants and illegals. Did they think that if they were working on a farm they wouldn't be deported? Now they're crying, does anybody care about us? Nebraska's going to go bankrupt. Why aren't anybody helping us? Well, now if we help you, that's considered socialism. So are you wanting socialism now? Because the only way that you get a bailout is it's socialism. They don't want that. They don't want socialism. So maybe they don't get a bailout. If you did your part, like I did my part in trying to help Nebraska, I voted for Kamala. I wanted Kamala and Tim so bad to be in the White House because this blustery buffoon had already told you what he was going to do. You just didn't hear him. Oh, you saw him dancing YMCA and hobnobbing with all of the elites of the country. Yeah, they got your money. They got your money. I did my part for you, Nebraska. I voted for Kamala. There's nothing more that I have to offer you. Thank you.
Someone please go check on Nebraska. Do you guys know what's going on over there? And if you don't know what's going on, that's why you have me, so I can explain it to you. But básicamente, Nebraska is about to go bankrupt in 6 months. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to smile. It's just a little ironic because majority of Nebraska voted for you-know-who, el pendejo, right? Majority of Nebraska is like, does anybody care about us? Like, we're about to go bankrupt in 6 months. And the reason why they're about to go bankrupt is because the majority of the workforce in Nebraska is built off, who do you think? The back to Latinos, right? That are undocumented. And they're scared to go to work. And they're not giving any money to the farmers. So their agriculture is dead. They're like, who cares? Like, can somebody come and help us? No, mijo. I have no pity for you.
Boy, Nebraska's got themselves in quite a mess, don't they? It was a while back that a lot of them were talking about losing their ranches and their farms. There was even a family that said they had a 300-year-old ranch that they were going to lose. I thought 300 years old. I wonder what the Native Americans think about that. However, they've voted strongly for President Donald Trump, and now a lot of them can't even keep workers on their ranches and farms to keep things going. And now you have people going straight into the businesses and rounding people up there. Omaha, well, I guess sometimes you have to learn the hard way. It's not always about, well, that is for some. Anyways, have a great day, Nebraska. Have the day you deserve. Bye.
And there you have it. These are the consequences of voting against the very people who have quietly contributed to the growth and survival of your businesses, without you even realizing it. This is what happens when short-sighted decisions catch up, when pride blinds reason, and when folks vote based on slogans instead of reality, when they vote against, because they think they're better than other people, because let's not forget, America, the whole country was built on the backs of slaves. That's not up for debate. That's a story for another day. That's history. And when slavery ended, who kept the fields running? Who worked the farms, the factories, the kitchens, the construction sites? Immigrants, hardworking immigrants, many of whom came, to the U.S. With nothing but their hands, their backs, and their hope to build a better life. Fast forward to today, and who's been keeping these Nebraska farms afloat? It sure wasn't the politicians in suit. It wasn't the white folks sitting comfortably in boardrooms or the people behind cable news cameras. It was the immigrants out there in the heat, in the dirt, making sure the fields were planted, tented, and harvested. It was immigrants driving the trucks, fixing the equipment, doing the hard labor that most Americans simply won't do anymore. And now the very people who benefited from this labor, these farmers are crying out because they are losing everything. They're filing for bankruptcy. They're shutting down and they are panicking because they realize it's way too late. That people they wanted gone were actually the ones holding their farms together. And you know what? Not all of Nebraska voted this way. Let's be honest on that. But the majority did. Numbers don't lie. Nebraska voted red, overwhelmingly so. And the red vote came with promises, fake ones. Promises to deport immigrants, promises to take the country back, promises to protect American jobs. But did they ever stop to think about those who actually, who was actually working those jobs, who was out in the field, who was actually keeping their farms running? Did they forget, or did they just didn't care? And that's why, honestly, I understand why so many people don't feel sorry for these farmers now. I really do. I don't blame them. It's hard to feel sympathy when you are warned. Someone warned you and they ignored the warnings when they were told, hey, if you vote for this, it will hurt you. It will hurt your businesses. It will hurt your livelihood. But they went ahead anyway, and now here we are. They're shocked that it's all falling apart. Like, what did they really expect? And now that I've really thought about this, Nebraska, you disappointed a lot of people. You disappointed the very people who once respected the work ethic of farmers, who admired rural life, who valued the idea of independent families. But how independent are you now? How strong is the farm when the fields are empty and no one wants the job? Your decisions, your votes are catching up with you. And here's the hardest pill to swallow. No American is rushing to replace those immigrant workers. Even if they do, they want to rush back home as fast as they came. They just want to be in the fields 2 or 3 hours. They want to go back home because, they cannot do what the immigrants were doing. No line of willing, eager citizens is waiting outside those barns and fields ready to take on the brutal, underpaid, back-breaking work. No one is willing to do that because they simply won't do it, okay? And this is just the beginning. It's going to get harder, much harder. Let's just say worse. Once the farmers are gone, big corporations will sweep in and buy the land. And when that happens, small town farmers will be pushed out completely. They'll lose not just their businesses, but their way of life forever. And it didn't have to be this way, but here we are anyway. So what can be done now? Honestly, there's nothing that can be done at this point. There is no fix, no quick solution, no magic policy to undo the damage. The only thing I can do for Nebraska now is just to offer them, thoughts and prayers, like seriously, because when reality hits this hard, when consequences are this final, all anyone can do really is just stand back and watch the fallout. And you brought this on yourselves. You chose this path. You ignored the warnings, and now the bill has come due. But hey, if you made it this far watching this video, please, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate you sticking with this topic because it's an uncomfortable topic to talk about, like seriously, because this is going to affect everybody. When farming is not doing okay, everybody suffers. Yeah, so it is a really the uncomfortable topic. Yeah, it's one that people don't like to talk about openly, but it needs to be said. And I want you to know that what you think. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this video. Should we feel sorry for these farmers? Should the rest of the country care about what's happening in Nebraska? Or is this simply the natural result of bad choices made over and over again? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like right now, don't hold back. I want to hear like what you have to say, whether you agree, disagree, or you have a totally different take on this. Let's get this conversation going. What's happening in Nebraska could happen anywhere elsewhere. Other states might be, next. Other industries might fall the same way if they keep ignoring the real people, the immigrants who hold the backbone of the farms of the USA. Let me know your thoughts, your final thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.